In this lesson, we'll be working with maps in Dart. So navigate into dartpad.dev so that you can follow along with me. So let's understand what maps are in Dart. So this map is also known as a map object in Dart. Keep that in mind, alright? So Dart map is an object that stores data in a form of key and value pair. So what does this mean? Let's try to understand it by using an example. Say there are 100 students in class. And for now, let's take only one student into consideration whose name is John, alright? So now if I need to describe John to you, then creating a string with student named John might not be a suitable option, because this will not give a clear insight of what John looks like, what is the age of John, what are the characteristics of John, and so on, right? And this is where map object comes into play. So instead of creating a string, I'll be creating a map object for describing John better. So let's remove this and let's create a map for the John object. We always start with curly braces when creating a map, and all characteristics of John will be inside this curly braces, alright? And as this map is a form of key and value pair, let's create a key value pair for John object. So name equals to John. Here the key is name and value is John. So this map object is nothing but a key and value pair, alright? And we can also have multiple key and value pair for describing John better. For instance, age, height, weight, and so on. All key and value pair will be separated by this comma, alright? So instead of defining John by a string, I can use this John object to define John better, because it has all the properties of John, alright? So now let's have a look at how map looks exactly in Dart, alright? So we start by writing this map keyword and the angle brackets, and the first parameter of angle bracket will be the data type of a key. So here you can see all the key are of a string type, so the first data type will be the string, alright? And the second parameter will be the data type of value. As there are different data types, we'll be writing it as dynamic, alright? And now we need to provide a name to this map, so I'll be naming it as John map object, alright? Equals to, and now this is a valid map data in Dart. So now let's work with this map object a little bit. So let's create an entry point, so void main, and let's print this John map object for now, and click at run, and you'll get all the properties of this John object, alright? But what if you only want a single property from this object? And you can access it by using these big brackets and keeping the key inside of it. So here, instead of getting the object, we will be getting the value of a key. And by using key, I can also modify the data of an object. For instance, if I want to modify the age of John, I will do it like so. And here I am changing the age of John to 10. Now instead of printing this name, let me print this John object. And here you can see this age has been modified to 10, alright? I can also add a new property to this object by defining the key. So if I want to add a new property address to this John object, I can define this new key and provide a value to it. So if I run this now, you can see this new key and value pair has been added to our John map object. Now if you want to remove a property or a key value pair from the object, you can use this remove function. So the object name dot remove and then the key. Now this will remove this age property from our object. So here you can see age key and value pair has been removed from our object, alright? So now let's have a look at the previous JSON data to see if it makes any sense now. So after understanding maps in Dart, this data might make a little sense. So here we have this list that is enclosed by these big brackets, and inside of it we have multiple map objects, right? So this first object is a Visit Nepal map object, and this second object is the skydiving map object. So it is safe to say that this JSON data is actually a list of map objects, right? So this list can not only hold the primitive data type like string, number, booleans and so on, it can also hold advanced data types like map. So now that we have a basic understanding of maps in Dart, we can use it to create a JSON object that can be passed into our server. So in the next lesson, we will be creating a bucket list, which will be a list of map objects, and then we will be passing it into our server. So I'll see you at the next lesson.